Atoms don't die, but they can change form from one element to another. If we are atoms extrapolated in complexity, why wouldn't we be the same? That's what I wrote down here. And pretty much what I'm saying with this is, there's the law, matter cannot be created or destroyed, and the building blocks of matter is atoms. And I mean, maybe you can say that there's particles that make up atoms and those are actually the building blocks of matter, but I'm going to keep it basic and say atoms are the building blocks. And the reality is, you can say, well, if you want to try and poke holes in my, if you want to try and poke holes in my analogy here and say, actually, atoms can be destroyed, and they do have parts, and we can break those parts down into smaller parts, then whatever makes up an atom is what I'm basing this off of for you. If you're trying to, outsmart me or something. I don't know. Either way, I don't really care. So, basically, atoms are the building blocks of matter. And if atoms make up matter, and we are matter, and atoms can't be destroyed, they just change forms, why wouldn't it stand to reason that we too won't be destroyed and no longer exist, but just change forms, just become something else? The whole idea of reincarnation, it's not necessarily, you get reincarnated back on Earth as another human or another animal, but we don't know what happens when we die. So the question is if we die here, what even is death? We don't have a true understanding of what death is. To us, death is the end. But do we look at an atom that goes from being one isotope to another? Did it die? No, it didn't die. It changed forms. But it's no longer what it was. So, are they the same thing? Is that still the same atom, or is that a completely new atom? And so that's kind of what I'm trying to go for here, and trying to say is basically, our idea of death is you die, that you're done. But I feel like we're missing our perspective is very limited, and I think we're missing a big part of the picture. I think there's a lot more kind of going on here than we have the ability to realize, and I don't necessarily think that death's the end. And I've said this before, but or at least I'm pretty sure I have. But if death is the end and that's it, you die and you're dead. People believe in religions all over the world that you go to heaven, you have eternal life, and whether or not that's true or not, it doesn't really matter, because the idea of that is what kind of helps people get through life. And so if you live thinking that even if you die, you don't, there's no such thing as death. What we think death is just a misunderstanding. Then, it might make it easier to get through life. And you can kind of base it off of science. If you don't want to believe religion that God is providing you with an afterlife, then you can believe in science, because matter can't be created or destroyed, and basically we're living matter. So, in my mind, it stands to reason that we would follow the same rules. we're more than what our bodies are. And I think that maybe when you die, you'll find out. Maybe you won't. I don't know. But it's just kind of a thought that I had about, like, matter can't be created or destroyed. Why wouldn't that translate to us? We're matter, aren't we? So yeah, pretty much the world, or the entire evolution of Earth and all species becoming what they are, and the laws of the universe coming into formation, is just a building of complexity. I've seen a couple videos on this, that kind of, like, I kind of had this thought, and then, like, I saw a bunch of videos on it. It's funny how that works. But maybe since I clicked on one, the algorithm recommended more. It's whatever. But basically, I got a bunch of videos kind of saying, like, the universe has been building in complexity, but if we're basically atoms built in complexity, why wouldn't we still have the same functions as, like, a smartphone can do what a smartphone from 5 years ago can do and more. So why wouldn't we be able to do what an atom does and more? I don't know. Maybe just figured I'd say that part too, in case that ties in better for some people. I don't know. So, yeah. Peace out.